G scale. Now in this course, we're only going to be learning one scale, the G scale specifically. Now I'd suggest that a student find a scale and really get to know it well. Now I'm sure many students could memorize all the scales relatively fast, but there's a really big difference between having them memorized and being able to play them well. Now we are working with the G scale, but if you want to choose a different scale, that's completely fine. They're easy to find on the internet, so just do a quick search for them if you desire a different scale. The setup and how to play them is going to be the same, it's just the fingering that's different. Now we're going to be working through one so that we can really understand it. We're going to be doing two different ways. We're going to do the full scale, and we're also going to work on the pentatonic scale. Okay, so when we play scales, we are always going to have our fingers defined by a fret. So in this case, anything played in the 1 fret will be with 1 finger. Anything played with 2 fret with the 2 finger. Anything in the 3 fret, 3 finger. Anything with the 4 fret, the 4 finger. People call this a box sometimes. It's an easy way to know right where your fingers are the whole time. So if I was playing something up higher, I define where my 1 is. That fret is my 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just think of it that way by playing anything in that 1 fret with your 4 finger or whatever. So in this case, we're going to play all of the notes, which is G, 3rd. Now we're going to play our next string open, A, 2, 3, next string open, D, 2, 4, next string open, G. So that was our full scale, but we have some more notes we can do. So we're going to do A again, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Now, I would suggest you learn that, play it forwards, play it backwards, get used to that feeling. We're going to do a little bit more with the pentatonic scale in just a sec. Okay, so this is G in the pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scales cut out some of the notes, so these are going to be the most relevant notes that are going to be hit in most melodies and stuff. Guitars kind of thrive with pentatonic scales because they're so easy to do different riffs and stuff that will work well in a lot of different chords within that scale. So if you get really comfortable with the pentatonic scale, it's really easy to improvise on top of your chords and stuff like that. So in the first position, pentatonic scale, we're actually only going to use our open notes, our 2nd finger, and our 3rd. So it goes 3, open, 2, open, 2, open, 2, open, 3, open, 3. So, what I was saying before about improvising and stuff, this is really easy to just have fun with and play around with those notes. If someone's playing some chords on the guitar in the G scale, if I just recorded that and had it playing over, there's so many notes you can play with it. Just playing around with any of the notes in this scale, you can have a lot of fun in creating, even though it's just playing around in the scale. So you can go, you know, with it till something starts feeling like a real melody or rhythm. This is how a lot of riffs and stuff in different songs are created. So that is, like I said before, first position, but there are more positions to play. Think of it as playing. Instead of starting on G, though, we're going to start on the next note up, but play all the same notes. It's kind of the same idea here. In this case, instead of playing open position, our 1 is going to be on our 2nd fret, our 2 is on our 3rd, 3 is on our 4th, 4 is on our 5th. Okay, so in this case, we're going to have a whole new pattern. We start on our 2, then our 4, our 1, our 4, our 1, our 4, our 1, our 3, our 2, our 4, our 2, and our 4. Okay, so I'm going to have a chart in here and I'm going to show you how you go over and work on each of these scales. The reason it's nice to play them in different parts of the guitar is you're not always going to be playing root position on guitar. If we're playing power chords or something, I may be playing right here. And I can play around with different notes that I know right in that area. So what it does is it gives us optionality. We now have the option to play all kinds of different stuff just because we learn the different positions of this scale. Okay, so we are looking at the pentatonic scale in G. Here down here is the fretboard of the guitar. So this is your low E string, your A, your D, your G, your B, your high E string. And these are your frets. This fretboard shows you all the notes, which is awesome. Then up here is our first one that we're working on. These correlate exactly to the frets that we're doing down here. So first note you play is the 3rd fret with your 3rd finger, which is a G. Then you play the A open. Then you play the 2, which is a B here. Then the D open, then a 2, then the G open, then a 2, then the B open, then the 3, then the E open, and a 3. Now, we can move it up the fretboard like we talked about, and instead of playing open strings, we start right here on our 2nd fret with our 1 finger. And then our 2 finger here, 3 finger here, our 4 finger here. So we still count it out as a 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4. We just leave our fingers right on those lines. So our 1 finger would be on this fret, our 2 would be here, our 3 would be here, and our 4 would be here. Now here we have this same graph, but we have all the different variations you can do of the pentatonic G scale. We just looked at this one, our root position. Our next one here. This 3rd one starts on the 5th fret. And here you actually have to move your 1 finger lower at one point. So it'd be a 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, a low 1, 3, 1, 4, and a 1, 3 for that variation. Next you move up to the 7th fret. You just do this. Then you move up to the 9th fret. You do it this way. And here we jump back up to here. Now this variation is exactly the same as this, but instead of having them open strings for the played by the nut, you're actually going to use your 1 finger on the 12th fret. Once again, the 12th fret is exactly the same notes as the open strings, just an octave higher. So this is a same variation as this, just an octave higher.